You really just can't make this up. Microsoft confirmed that the recent Patch Tuesday update for Windows temporarily broke LocalHost on machines until they released a rollback, effectively, that is available now to fix it. But I figured I'd talk about what the problem was, some interesting things about it. It's not just a big bash Microsoft video. And of course, I'll cover how to fix it if you're still experiencing it. It's pretty simple. Now, specifically, the breaking change was in KB 506-6835. This was Patch Tuesday, and it was for build 26.100.68.99. And from what I've been reading, it didn't break all localhost connections. A lot of apps actually use it. I didn't notice any issues, and that's because apparently it was just for HTTP2 connections. That's like a newer version of the HTTP protocol. Not every app uses it, but some do. For example, a large number of people who noticed it were developers using Visual Studio, because when you do that, you run a local web server for testing the web apps, and they were getting errors such as error connection reset and error HTTP2 protocol error. However, even if you were an end user, if you were running an app that ran a local host as like a mini web server type thing for an interface, then you might have also experienced an issue where that app wouldn't have worked. But again, this is not for every single app that was using localhost or just localhost in general. It was specifically HTTP2 apps that use that. Microsoft did roll out a patch basically undoing that particular part of the update, and you can get it just by running Windows Update and checking for updates. It apparently already probably would have rolled out automatically, but just in case, maybe not, you can check it. I did do a test in Visual Studio. I just made a really simple web app that used HTTP2 and didn't have any issues, so I guess I had already gotten it. This type of partial rollback is called a known issue rollback, and it doesn't actually undo the entire installation of the patch, just the part of it. And Microsoft also said that they're apparently working on a proper permanent fix. I also saw on the Stack Overflow thread discussing this that some people were saying that updating the Windows Defender definitions for security definitions, that for some reason fixed it. I'm not sure if that's just anecdotal. So if for some reason you checked for updates and also restarted to make sure it applied and it's still not working for some reason, you could try these commands that people suggested. This is actually from Microsoft's own article, so it's legitimate commands. You can see it basically clears the cache and then re-updates them. Again, that's still an anecdotal fix. I'm not really sure if that's even necessary, but it probably can't hurt. I also saw that in the Microsoft official support article that talks about this known issue, they have an MSI file for downloading that IT managers can use to install the rollback manually on computers. You do not need to download that though. That uses group policy to do it, and there's no reason to clutter up your group policy editor with that. However, out of curiosity, I did download the MSI file and extract it to see exactly what it was doing, and it looks like it actually changes a couple registry keys in the feature flags. So Microsoft has the ability, as you may know from feature updates, to turn on and off little tiny flags and features and aspects of Windows behind the scenes, and I guess that's what they did. They were able to not require uninstalling the entire update. They were able to just toggle off that little particular problematic part until they can properly fix it. And by the way, here's a random bonus tip since we were just talking about updating Windows security definitions. If you want to create a shortcut like for your desktop that will immediately force Windows Defender to download the latest definitions, you can just create a shortcut with this command exactly as is, and that lets you just double click it and run it and it'll update the definitions. So maybe if some program is new and you're trying to run it and it's being blocked for some reason because Windows does recognize it, and this is assuming that you know the actual program is safe. This makes it easy to just immediately install the latest updates. Those get updated every few hours, so I've had to do this and it actually has worked, where it might have been blocking something and then it allowed it after updating the definitions, because in that few hours maybe enough people were reporting the issue or it came up and then they were able to identify it as safe. So it can actually come in handy. And if you don't want it to have to make you press enter to close the PowerShell window, you can just remove the word pause here. So I'd be curious if any of you experienced this issue, or maybe you're experiencing it right now and figuring out what the heck was going on, and now you know how to fix it. If you want to keep watching, here's my video where I talked about the recent 25H2 annual Windows 11 update. If you're curious, I'll put that link right there you can click on. And if you like the video though, be sure to give it a big giant thumbs up. It helps out. And if you want to subscribe, I try to make videos about twice a week, so it should be worth it. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.